Hey, stop that, pendejo. I told you not to do that. My neighbors are watching.
Camping trip!
Shut up, Base. There might be people around.
Hey, there's no one around for miles.
Hey, how you doing, Doc?
Can you please, gentlemen, respect the 6 feet? And I specifically asked you guys to wear masks. So where are they? There's a freaking pandemic happening out there. People are dying from it.
I cannot breathe this shit.
Take your mask off. I hate to see your face.
Everybody, friendship!
You guys ready for the scary part?
I don't know who to trust anymore.
So for once, can you just put aside your morals?
Watch too many movies, boy.
COVID game ain't no joke.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Camping Trip. It will arrive to you all on demand and digital on August 16th. I am Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, I have a special guest, the star, the writer, the director, Leonardo Fuica. Thank you so much for your time today. How are you today, sir?
I am very, very good. Thank you, Patrick, for having me here. I mean, it's really fun, and I'm excited to talk to you about my movie.
Definitely. Again, as we spoke a little bit before, as a filmmaker myself, it's all about spreading the word. We put so much of our time, our heart, our dedication into these films that we want to entertain or educate or inspire the world. So I know the drive, I know the passion, and I commend you on getting it done, because that's half the battle, as you know. All the hard work, all the late nights, it's all about, getting this out to the people. So I commend you on making it happen. And now let's spread the news. Let's tell everybody about Camping Trip arriving again on digital on demand on August 16th. How did this this story germinate into your mind and come into what we now have as this new feature? Take me back to the beginning.
Okay, well, I just want to say, just first of all, what you said. I mean, I think it's very true what you say. When you make a movie, it's always like 90% of the time, maybe you're trying to fund it. The 5% is the shooting, and the other 5% is marketing. And it's so important, because sometimes when you make movies, people always forget the marketing, the fun part here and there, but you have to know how to market and do your movie. And with that said, I mean, that's why with Camping Trip, we hired a festival director here and there, and she sent us in good festivals around the world here and there, where we got nominations. We got 8 selections, 7 awards, 60 nominations. Here we went to Horror Hound in Cincinnati, here and there. That's where we found our distribution, that is Gravitas Ventura. So yeah, I mean, those are important things when you're making a movie here and there. So I'm happy that I could co-produce it, co-direct it, and co-produce it with my brother. So I'm happy that it's a Fuica Brothers movie. We mostly work in French. This is like I said, this is our first English movie, and we're really happy about it.
Excellent.
And it's so funny, because I got the idea to make this movie because I was in LA first, and I was working on this project with about Paul River Williams. I don't know if a lot of people know Paul River Williams. Okay. He's an architect from Los Angeles. Well, the airport, here and there. It was a very good project until the 12th March 2020 came. The famous day where everything changed the world. So I was in LA and I was working, and that project unfortunately didn't work. So I still remember I was living in Van Nuys, and I went to the grocery store. I think it was Trader Joe's, or I don't remember if it was that, and it was just insane. Insane. Those times. I still remember I got out of the car, and there was this girl and this woman telling me, "Can you buy me $100 of food?" And it was like pretty insane. it was pretty intense. Okay, so
Wow.
I inspired myself of all whatever I saw here and there and around the world at the same time. And after that, I came to Canada. I left, I think, the 31 of March, and I started doing research about it. So what it did mostly affected COVID here and there, and I'm not gonna say relationships. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Relationships, holy damn, man. Regardless if you're friends, if you were married, it broke up a lot of stuff. And another
Definitely.
fact,
Yeah.
exactly. And another fact that I found out was money. Money. Oh man. So yeah, doing those research here and there, I start snooping around, and I started writing it. And in April 2020, I wrote this project, snooping around relationships here and there, whatever affected. And yeah, we shot it on August 2020.
Wow. I feel that. And I can totally relate. As I said earlier to you, as I'm an actor and a filmmaker as well. I think all of us kind of, we all didn't know what we were heading into, right? And as filmmakers, right, and actors, protocols, COVID protocols, and everything you had to do, set life changed. It was a whole new way of life, and in different ways, some kind of left. I don't know about you, but some film friends of mine didn't want to do it anymore. They had other passions now. We all had to find our
Everybody
own
changed
way.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody would change. Yeah.
But I have to say though, personally, and I think for you as well, because you created this film out of this end of the world scenario, right? For me, I kind of gotten it gave me a new focus with what I wanted to do, and actually developed a couple scripts as well. And I see you're bringing us Camping Trip. I have a couple on the way as well. But it helps give us censor. So I commend you on giving us this. So I'm curious though. So with it being said, this is kind of a COVID film, right? Within the story as well, because it's a horror. I read a little bit of the synopsis. Is this kind of like the weird alternate multiverse version of Leonardo? If I would have done this, tell me now the story. We showed the trailer at the beginning of this interview. Tell me now a little bit more about Camping Trip itself in the story concept.
Well, and look, it's simple. It's a story about two couples, two great couples that want to evade a little bit about the world in the first wave, and they want to go back to this sort of normality. And at the same time, you have the criminals. There's the criminal worlds that a lot of people didn't thought about, and that's one of my research. So these criminals that go to do this deal that one's out, and the implicit are campers here and there, and there's money involved. And yeah, in these times, like I say, there's a lot of things that happened, and that's Camping Trip is about. Camping Trip is about greed, is about trust, is about awful things too. Humans can do crazy banana stuff when you are in panic, pandemic things. The other thing that I would say, it's funny because we shot this in August 2020, so a lot of film festivals in the beginning were saying that we tried to cover a lot of the COVID aspects, and I said thank you very much, because I told them how could I have known all aspects of COVID if it didn't happen yet.
Wow.
Because a lot of people, and after that we started having a lot of festivals, because a lot of people thought that we shot that in 2021, and no, because when you're going to watch the movie, you're going to see there's a lot of things that in the movies happens later. And I never did this in purpose. Like I'm not saying that I wrote something like seeing in the future.
Yeah.
I just wrote what I had, and I think fortunately, or whatever happened, in life, it happened that it was spot on. A lot of people told me, how did you know? Look, I just did things. We talk about vaccines and stuff like that in that time, we didn't even talk about it. You understand?
Crazy.
The movie, I talk about it. So, and all those conspiracy things here and there or whatever that people thought later. So yeah, Camping Trip is all about that, about a lot about yourself too. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you with this COVID, like you said before, Patrick, with this COVID situation, what do I really like to do? Am I doing what I really like? Or I'm just doing because society is telling me to do it here and there? Because now when everything goes out, I mean, who is ordering me to be like this? I mean, and you have all these aspects of money too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I know you've been acting as well. You're a young actor as a kid, and then you now are a filmmaker yourself. What were when you were coming up with Camp Trip? Obviously, you know, the pandemic influenced a bit, but were there any like creative influences that for people that aren't familiar with you and your work, that you would say kind of echo and have similarity? Well, not similarities, but inspiration within Camping Trip.
Course. Yeah, it's funny that you talk about that because I did an interview later today and they spoke to me about the same thing, and I would compare it a little bit to it's not compare it, but similar to Deliverance.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you love Deliverance, because don't forget that in the woods, I don't know, sometimes in the woods there's crazy stuff that happens when there's
scary.
Yes, exactly. I mean, so there's a lot of things that you can do in the woods that that you wouldn't do like when you're in the city. So I would say a lot of Deliverance. I mean, I'm a big fan of Kubrick. I have so many big filmmakers that I look out to, from Martin Scorsese to Christopher Nolan. There's so much. It's particular, but also in Camping Trip, you have to remember that the lake that we shot in, and my character has this story. He says, well, that's a real story that happened at that place, because that location is a real location here and there. So there's a lot of things that in the movie that I do, because like, Patrick, when you make movies and when you write movies, like I was saying, it has to come with things that mostly here and there.
The best material comes from what you know.
Exactly. And I'm fortunate that I have a family that is all in movies. I started very young acting professionally, but mostly in French. So here, I would say that you guys, I think in the US, you call that like A-listers. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. So I did big shows here in Montreal, but mostly in French and there. But look, I always was in love with the English and Hollywood, how it is here and there. So I've been going to Los Angeles since 2013, going to actor schools, script schools, all those kind of things.
Gotcha.
It's important to learn and have contacts.
Definitely.
You know how it is, because in this industry, it's so much about no solicitations here and there, and you try to make your world here and there. So but I think that knowledge of making movies that I had, because I've been doing since more than 32 years now. It helps a lot when you make movies.
Definitely. I respect that. Mad respect. And don't ever not stop doing French language films, man. Like, I love language. I think as a failure, I'm an immigrant myself. So I am American, but I'm an immigrant, and I love being Filipino, and I love our languages. So I think that's the beauty of the world. And I think America needs to catch up. I'll go ahead and say that, even though I live here. They need to catch up because language is so beautiful, and especially the French language. I took French in high school, and Je m'appelle Aurélien. That was my name.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, I think what you said is good too. For me, all my movies that I make, I'm gonna put all the language that are supposed to be. What I was more saying that in French is that it's different markets. It's and look, and that's one of the things that I've learned in this seminary that I did in California of Mark Morgan, the guy who did all the Twilights here and there. You have to understand your markets in the countries that you are. Those are things of productions, and as a producer, you have to know, because if you don't know, there's a difference between a country that gives government funds that makes the movie and another country like the US, where it's more studios, private investors here and there, and you find distribution, blah, 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 that it's completely different,
Very true. Gotta work the system until the system can work for us. So I completely agree. So you're in production, you're making this film that you were inspired by so many amazing folks like Kubrick and the like. Were there any issues with production? Was it weird?
Oh my
filming
God!
pandemic times. How was it?
First of all, I mean, I think I don't know. When I look at it today, I say to myself, "Oh my God, I can't believe that we pulled that off." Sincerely, I said. First of all, we had a Caitlin Cameron that plays Polly in the movie. That my character is Enzo. I mean, she's from the UK, so we had to fly her in from the UK with the work permit. But during the first wave, it was incredibly a lot of work for one person. But we managed to do that. So in the beginning, we almost thought that we couldn't bring her here and there until finally we got the permit and we could bring her in. Then secondly, I mean, when you're shooting outdoors, I mean, you deal with weather. The elements, weather, I mean, that's the thing. So at least 2 days of rain that we couldn't shoot here and there. So I mean, it sucked, but I mean, it is how it is. The other thing that happened that it's pretty cool, but it's not cool, is that during one of the scenes, it would look so real, and we were all screaming and we're all into it so much that there were some campers that were camping that it thought that it was so real, and they called the cops for real, and we had to stop shooting.
Wow.
So we had to stop shooting, and that day I remember the owner told us, no, you can't shoot no more. Yeah, but I mean, we have to shoot it. So we couldn't, and we had to deal something with him. Hey, can we do this like this date? And we had to have a specific like date. So there's like not a lot of people in the campsite and everything. So it was but it is how it is. I mean, it was fun. It was a good 12-14 days.
Got you. Well, in reverse, did having, the elements work to your favor in a way for certain scenes, maybe?
Exactly. Yeah. In certain scenes you have to go, and I love working on pressure. I know there's people that not, but when you make movies and you're directing or whatever, you have to work on pressure in the sense that sometimes even if you thought about it, even if you rehearse it, if you talked about it, you showed up whatever you wanted to show, and you come on set and it doesn't work, hey, you have to know how to flip that fast. And you know what, this doesn't work, let's try to cut this off and do like this. And you have to be the most creative that you can, so you can get all those shots, so that after that at the editing room you have more space, like we said.
Definitely. Oh, I love that. I love that insight. I love getting that from other filmmakers, because it shows that we're all not alone in what we're dealing with, right? And there's ways to be positive in negative situations. You just get it, and it'll work out. So I thank you for that. All right. Yeah. So post-production, you as you said, you went to the festival route, and it's now again, y'all, reminder, check out Camping Trip when it hits digital platforms on August 16th and on demand. You're going to want to check this out from my amazing guest, Leonardo Fuica. What has the reception been, and now that it's going to be even more out to the world with this distribution that you have, what has the vibe been and the feedback in regards to Camping Trip?
Okay, well, I sincerely, I mean, it's going pretty good. Okay, so for an independent project, like how we say, I think it's going over my expectations. First of all, I mean, just having a Gravitas Ventura, I mean, it's a pretty decent distribution. I mean, so I mean, we're getting a lot of exposure. We're going to be in 100 platforms, from Amazon Prime to, iTunes, to Google, to Dish, Comcast, to Time Warner Cable. I mean, there's so many things that I saw that we're going to be on Walmart's, DVDs, Best. I mean,
let's go. I love that.
There's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of more preparation and promotions. I mean, I could see the big difference between when you're doing like a smaller projects, let's say here and there, and now that you have a distribution that is like Gravitas. I mean, there's a lot of more work to do. I have a PR team from the UK, one in the States, like as you know, Clink, October Codes are super good, by the way. It's all this function process that you had to go through. So I'm happy. I mean, we have good comebacks. A lot of people saying about the movie, they're really surprised. They felt really because we have these scenes that are like really that gets into people that are like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it was really yeah, it is how it is. I mean, yeah, and that's all about making movies, making feeling people. I mean, I think that's also why we had 8 selections in 4 or 5 different countries. I mean,
Wonderful.
7 awards. I mean, the one that I'm really happy about is the best pandemic movie that we have
Mhm.
from Lonely Wolves. I mean, that's once was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm
Excellent.
excited about it, and I can't wait. I mean, for the people for the US to see it. Sincerely, I mean, I really hope that they enjoy it. And I have other projects that are coming. I'm going to a festival, like I would say, I'm going to a festival in I think it's called the Austin Action Film Market Festival.
Okay.
Because I did this short movie action that's going to be that are starting a festival route now. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, now that Camping Trip is going to be out there to hit digital on demand on August 16th, what else can we expect from you, Leonardo?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I have other projects on the go. Like I was saying, now we have a short.
What's it called?
It's called The Little Devil and the Big Demon. You can go check it out. It's about 2 hitman brothers working for a cartel, and yeah, that's their job. I mean, you have to go see. It's an action movie, you know, about assassins and money, and yeah, there's a little moral here and there. It's more of a pilot that I was doing to see if I would, and
to maybe turn it into something even more later on down the road.
Exactly. Now
a test film.
Yeah,
see how it works.
Exactly. We've been to LA for a film festival called LA Crimes and Horror. We won Best Editing. Austin's our second festival. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have that. We have other projects, and it's going to be all in English, like I was saying. This is my Camping Trip. Camping Trip is our debut. And we have I would say maybe a couple here and there, and just you know, waiting to have the confirmations about people here and there to make them.
Excellent. Hey, there we go. Let's go. I almost forgot, and again, you know, I kind of moved along in kind of like my method of hosting. You're not only, you know, you're the writer, the director, you know, producer on this, right? But you also star in this, like having that triple hat of duties. I know how insane it is for me, but like, come on, brother. Can we talk on that? How did you keep all this together? Is that just what you know, or you're because you have the years in, which we did discuss that as well. You've been in the game a bit, so you kind of know what to do, right? But how do you keep your sanity? Is it having your brother there and other colleagues to help guide you a little bit, to help you where you fail or fall back or you forget? Talk to me about that, and for any other people out there that are watching this, that, you know, how do we do this all when we want to do this, or maybe, you know, where should they put certain focuses, if you will, to those young cats that are watching?
I would say the first of all is having a lot of passion and love in what you do. Okay,
definitely.
If you love making movies, I mean, yeah, I make movies because of Charlie Chaplin. Okay, Charlie Chaplin. A lot of people didn't know that he directed, he composed, he produced, he wrote, he did, and he played in, and that means he was really and he knew everything. So, I mean, I always wanted to do like at least that once in my life. I mean, I know that I'm not going to write all my projects that I write. I mean, I'm not going to play in them all. I mean, that's for sure, here and there. I mean, I'm modest. I know, oh, this one's good for me, this one's not good for me. But I like wearing all those hats because I think it's important to know also. I mean, if you're a producer and making a producer, I think it's important that you know what does the script do, what does the directors do, what does the sound guy do, and then know how that it works.
Oh yeah.
So that way, if somebody tries to, let's say, school you in a sense in the set here and there, well, you're gonna know how to respond, because if the less you know, the less you have weapons, that I would say words of weapons to defend yourself, you know. And because don't forget that when you're making movies, you're always creating, and there's always somebody here saying a creative thing here and there. So you have to when you want your vision, you need to have that control without being the control freak, but you know, still having that control. So the only way to do that is by knowing.
Yeah.
And I just love, I mean, I've been doing this for so many years. Like I said, I mean, I started acting, then I started, very funny, with this American movie called Home Team, that I started doing production, and yeah, with Steven Gutenberg. And
okay.
I fell in love with producing, because you know what, there's a lot of people that don't like producing, but I mean, producing, yeah, it's the boring stuff, but the important stuff at the
Very
same
true.
time. Okay, so I love producing. I really, really love producing. I mean, that's the thing that's important.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Important to have the passion and the love of what you're doing. So once you have that, you go and just go dig up, learn here and there. I produce, I co-direct with my brother. My sister is a key makeup. My daughter is a script supervisor. You see, there's a lot of family in.
Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. So, and that also helps at the same time. Having your family here and there, that, okay, they know how I work, or how we know. So my brother is very technical, Damien Fuica is very technical. So he can help me when I go on the screen. Well, he helps me, of what we want. And since he already directed in the past, I mean, it helps a lot. Okay. So you need to have all those key elements. The most important thing, like I always say to people, regardless the budget that you have, it's being professional and being following all those guide steps when you're making the movies.
I love that. Dropping knowledge, which is so important, and that's what I like to get through doing these interviews, because it's just so important, and it helps show people, whatever level you're at, that we still experience this, and it's so important to keep that energy going. This has been a marvelous energy exchange. I feel it. You got me inspired, Leonardo. I love this. Yeah. Everybody check out Leonardo Fuica, writer, director, star of Camping Trip, when it arrives in digital and on demand on August 16th. And as these other projects come along, I hope we've built a rapport and I can have you back so I can give you love and light and give this energy back again and tout the next projects as they come along again. This was truly a pleasure, Leonardo. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Patrick, it was a blast. Thank you so much. Wonderful host. Thank you for this opportunity to be on your show.
No worries. I almost forgot. How can are you on Twitter or Instagram? What are some socials that I can tell people to follow you online?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. Hold on, I'm just new at all this stuff.
Yeah, we got to keep up with these millennials out here.
yeah. No, it's pretty crazy. Hold on. How do we do this? Yeah, so it's FF Fuica. So you can follow me at FF Fuica.
Got it. I'll put it in the description below, y'all.
Yeah,
Make sure
exactly.
you give him a follow so we can keep up to speed with Camping Trip and every other project from Leonardo Fuica. And I'll put it there, y'all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Fuica Films Picture. So
Fuica Films Picture. It'll be in the description, y'all. I'm gonna put it there. Click that. It'll send you over to there. Subscribe, follow, help support Leonardo. I appreciate your time so very much. For me, it's the legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. Of course, this is the NRW where nerds rule the world. Check out Camping Trip when it arrives on digital and on demand on August 16th, y'all.
Hey, hello, my name is Leonardo Fuica, and I'm here on NRW. and here to talk to you about Camping Trip, my latest movie that's going to come out on digital. So Camping Trip is a movie about two couples that go on a camping vacation to get rid of a little bit of all the COVID situation and to have a little bit of normality. And two criminals, goons, are doing a drug deal nearby, and it goes south, and the implicit are campers. So if you're looking to have a good thriller, a good greed, or a relationship emotion movie kind, well, I suggest you to watch it. So I hope you like it, and it's going to be out on Amazon Prime and all 100 digital platforms across the US. Have fun.